So I am a #1 Bridgerton fan, and after watching Queen Charlotte, I had to figure out what dress to make. After the finale, I decided that was the dress I needed to make. Now, in some references, it shows more blue, like in the promos, but sometimes it shows more gray. I decided to go more blue with mine. Let's get started. I just got this dress. It's awesome. I don't have like anything under it to support it. I just wanted to try it on. It's great. It's my first robe a la Francais. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I figured it would be easy to turn this into, more accurate period clothing. Because they go on like a jacket, and then the skirt part is separate, and then they just put like what's called a stomacher, which is just the bodice, and they pin the jacket to the bodice. So I figured I just need to take this apart, take all this apart, take the skirt out. Actually, yeah, take the skirt out and the bodice out. And boom, we're gonna turn this into a Bridgerton gown. Wish me luck. At first I started out by trying to seam rip the waist out, but then I realized that it was taking apart all the pleating and the gathering on the side, so I just cut the other half out. Let's make it simple for myself. Then I had to go ahead and re-pleat everything on the other side, which I hated. Next, it was off to find fabric. I went to Joann's, RIP. I couldn't find anything, so I ordered some. My fabric came in for the stomacher and the skirt. I'm hoping I have enough. I got a 12 feet by 4 yard pack of this silver sequin fabric on Amazon. Time to get sewing. I used the bodice that I took out of the dress to make a pattern for the new stomacher. It was very easy because I didn't have to make a new pattern for myself. Highly would recommend. Okay, so this is the skirt that I took off of the dress. Because we're doing this on a budget, instead of making an entire skirt out of the silver sequin fabric, I am just going to make a front panel like how they did with the skirt. So I'm going to take off this panel, use it as a pattern for when I cut the silver fabric, and replace this panel with the silver fabric. Add a little waistband and we've got a skirt. And then it was back to seam ripping hell. And I used the front panel to make the pattern for the skirt. The next step was to work on the miles and miles of ruffles she has, both on her sleeves and all across the dress. I already had some old tulle in my fabric stash. I don't know what it was for, so I need to dye it. I used yellow, black, and blue RIT dye, and it was sort of hard because the color is like a gray, but it's also like a slight bluish, slight green. The first attempt, it did not work. So I went back in with some more blue and black, and it was very blue when I was washing it out, but I was like, let's let it dry. Who knows what it'll look like after that. It was time to sew the waist back together, and I accidentally sewed it wrong. Time for seam ripping again. False alarm. I didn't sew the back to the waistband. It just got caught on a needle that's hanging out on my mannequin somewhere under here. And back to sewing. A bunch of things arrived. My wig for my base, it's just a big brown afro. My crown, which I'm going to be adding to, but it's pretty perfect. And then my jewelry. I like that it came in this cute little box. I think it's interesting that she wears black earrings and necklace and then just like regular silver everything else. But trying to figure out accessory details for this was hard. As you can see here, she has a big feather in her hair, but in the promo images she does not, and she also has locks in the back. I sort of did a mashup of the both. I lucked out and didn't have to entirely sew a new silver skirt because I already had one from another project. The tull's all dry, so it's time to get to sewing. It still is a little bluer than I would have liked, but I mean, hey, it still works, so we're gonna go with it. The ruffle trim, I just cut out strips. And then for the sleeves, I used the lace that I took off of the sleeves as a pattern for the sleeves. So another pattern I did not have to make from scratch. Next, we're tackling that behemoth of a wig. It is huge, it is tall, it is big. I went to the beauty supply, I got some locks, a wig cap, and I bought a wig on Amazon for the base. I got the perfect wig because it's huge, but now I need to figure out how to get all of this to go up because it is very weighed down. I flipped the wig upside down because the bottom hairs have like a little more structure than the ones at the top, and it's staying better. So I might actually keep it upside down because I plan to sew it onto this. We just gotta shape it now.
To the salon!
For her cornrows, I just got some faux locks, twisted them together, thumb for thickness, and then laid them onto the cornrow wig cap and, just pin them in place so I could figure out what to do with it. I decided to hot glue them down. Sewing probably would have been better, but that's a problem for future Aaliyah. I don't care. I only had a few more things left to do to finish the cosplay when the actor strike was announced. You know, the day it was announced, content creators found out we were also involved in the strike. Part of not promoting struck companies means we can't cosplay from those companies. I am unable to wear Queen Charlotte to Comic-Con. 100% I stand with the actors and the writers who are both on strike right now, and everyone deserves fair pay. Like, there's no question about that. It does suck. We weren't given really any notice that we would be involved in this and also have to stop working on our projects. And the announcement came a week before Comic-Con, so cosplayers who are in the union or want to be in the union in the future, you know, for work, a lot of us are in the entertainment industry. We had to change our lineups last minute, and it's been very stressful. There's just a lot to deal with at once. Like, not only can we not work, but we can't do the thing we love the same way that we usually do. Putting a pause on the project.
Several months later.
The strike lasted 3 months, y'all. I could have been probably working on this during those 3 months, but no, I was depressed. So we're getting back to it. To sew the stomachers together, I sandwiched a layer of interfacing in between the two fabric pieces to give it some stiffness. Look at the shine. Wow, my camera is always dirty. But I was very happy with how clean it all looked. We're so close to being done. Next was sewing all those ruffles together. If you don't have a ruffle foot, I recommend it. It saves me so much time. And then just pin them into place and sewed it right on to the dress. The stomacher is all sewn together. Look at that. It's so clean. It's so crisp. I love it. I love it. Here's where I struggled. I couldn't figure out her sleeves. I was trying to sew the sleeve together and then attach it. That did not work. So I sort of just gave up on that part. And you know what? That's okay. I just went ahead and put the ruffle trim around the outside of the sleeves and moved on. Okay, I am continuing with my friend here. I haven't touched this wig since July. A problem though, I cannot find the rest of the locks that I used to make this. It's the wrong color. I'm gonna spray it anyways with a root covering, touch up or whatever. I can't find the rest of them. I did an office, a major office cleanup sometime in between when I last touched this, and I might have thrown it away without knowing. But I have an entire bag of red locks from my Ariel wig. And so since I have to spray these a different color anyway, then I might as well just use these. And now I'm mad I didn't think about using these from the beginning because it would have saved me $25. Let's continue making this wig. Okay, I'm just making little loopies and hot gluing them into loops, which I know sewing makes it a lot lighter. And it's gonna be really heavy with all this glue, but that is a problem for future Aaliyah, so. And then we're just gluing it right onto there. This wig is gonna be heavy, man. I mean, it's not that heavy. This afro hair is not heavy at all. All the weight's gonna be here, which is good because I need something to weigh it down closer to my head. Also, I'm gonna have a big crown on. All the weight will be up here. So I think it'll be okay because I need something to weigh it down because I don't have a lot of hair to grab onto. So at least all the weight will be in the front. I sprayed it on this part. I'm letting it sit for a little before I do another coat, but it's helping change it to a darker tone. It looks a lot better in person than it does on camera. I don't know why. It looks sort of gross on camera. Anyways, and then I'm spraying the top because, they were red. I'm just using this. I never have used it on a wig before. I always use it on my own hair, but I wanted to try it, so we'll see if it actually sticks. The finished product. I'm gonna wait for it to dry to push those back. Now it is a pretty nice even color. You can still see sort of the red peeking through here, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'll do another coat if it does. I was just going through all my wigs and just combing them because a lot of them fell out of bags. And I found the rest of the locks. That was for this. I put it in a wig bag for some reason and shoved it in the bucket with all my wigs. And I found them. Well, I made do with what I had, so. We are back. I've been procrastinating for a while. I'm so close to finishing, so we're just gonna go ahead and do it. I am making a waistband for the skirt. What else do I need to do? That's the main thing, making the waistband. I have to put sequins on it, but oh, Stormtrooper in the back. I have to put sequins on it, but I haven't bought them yet. So if we can at least finish this, I can't figure out what I want to do for the sleeves. I know what I want to do. I don't know how to do it. So we'll see. We're in the final countdown. We're sewing it back together. We're trying things on. Yes, I was watching The Princess Diaries because I really wanted to. At these, you can sort of see my base layers a little bit. I don't know why I was sewing with it on. It was easier, but you know what? Who cares? I got the job done apparently because the costume is done. I did the final skirt try on. As you can see, there's something wrong with the right side. I realized that at this moment. Why? So I fixed it, did a little walk test to make sure I wouldn't trip, and I am finally finishing up my Queen Charlotte dress tonight. One thing though, that's my office currently. I'm moving. So luckily I knew this was probably gonna happen, that I was gonna schedule a shoot in the middle of moving. So I kept my sewing machine and all the supplies I will need. So we're working on it in the living room, surrounded by boxes and disarray. But we got this. I found the perfect sequin to go along the trim. There's so much trim on this dress. Pinned it in place, sewed it on, boom, we're back to moving. I literally have one more thing left to do in this cosplay. I'm gonna finish them tonight. Girl, you know you're not gonna finish this tonight. As the queen of procrastination, I waited till literally the day before the shoot to finish the last thing. All I needed to do was add the stars on her stomacher. So I used my Cricut to cut out some star shapes. I used nail polish, some spray glue, and some glitter to put it on. And then boom, I just straight up glued it to the stomacher. They're really subtle. You can only see it in some lights, but I think that works. It's shoot day. I have got my makeup on. I was hanging it up because I steamed it. I haven't done a full try on of this costume yet, so it better work. And I'm gonna do like a little half-ass try on right now before I go to the shoot, because then I have to take it all off because I can't drive in it. I'm so excited. Okay, I just wanted to do a quick try on with the corset just to make sure that once I do pin the stomacher in place that it will cover my corset, and it barely does. The only thing is my chemise I have to fully tuck or else it sticks out a little too much. It peeking out a little is okay. Just had to make sure that it would fit well, and it does. I haven't tried on the wig at all. I'll do a wig test. Let me do a wig test. This is perfect. I'm glad I have hair now. I wanted it to stick out a little on the edges because she does, but it makes it a little more natural. I mean, I have to wipe the makeup out of my hair. It makes it a little more natural and true to the times, because they were all pretty much wearing wigs and wig pieces back then, and their hair would stick out of the edge. Crown will also cover most of it. I don't want to put it all the way in because it's so hard to take it out. It's so pretty. Okay, I actually do need to go though, so let me take all this off. Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, because I forgot to get gas. How are they gonna know? They'll never know. I did a classic get ready in the parking lot situation. There were so many layers to put on. It took 30 minutes. There were so many people watching me, but I got it done with a little help from my friend. We were doing a 2-for day. She was shooting me, and then I was shooting her cosplay in the same location. Also, this taught me that I hate stomachers. I don't think I'm ever gonna do one again. I'm just gonna make a full bodice or add snaps or something. Say hello. Hi. Overall, I loved how it turned out. There are some changes I want to make, but it was beautiful and wearing it was so fun. I can't wait to wear this again. We got to shooting and
oh my God. Oh my God.
I left my Fitbit on for the entire shoot almost and had to Photoshop it out on everything. Here's Quiva as Daenerys. Now it was my turn to shoot her, but we did it. I got it done finally. A year and a half later, I am finally posting this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.